Hello everyone, I'm Hanem.
And I'm Sarah.
We're out on the road once again. So hard to believe that we're nearing the end of the year. We're in fact one day away from the end of 2021. In fact, just this morning we watched the movie. What was it called, Sarah?
Death of 2021.
Yeah. So we thought we'll just have a quick chat about 2021 and what it meant for us as people living in South Africa. The Death of 2021, the series or the documentary that we watched on Netflix, was based more around America. But we want to chat about the death of 2021 from a South African perspective. So what were some of your points of that you can look back and say, this was 2021 and I'm glad that we're going into 2022?
Okay, there was quite a lot of things I could say, but the starting point would be we entered the year with COVID, from 2020 we came into 2021 with COVID, so we still had to adhere to all the regulations and the restrictions and, the wearing of the masks, the sanitizing, and different waves as well. We came in with different waves as well with COVID, so that didn't change.
But what about the different variants of COVID as well?
Yes. What about the variants? Each wave a different variant, different symptoms, different strengths and things like that. So that was a change from our previous years that came in from 2020 to 2021. The work, in terms of work, the employment industry, it's still the same in terms of people getting retrenched, people getting short time, not working their normal hours. Also, people working from home. That came in from 2020 to 2021. It's said the employment market. It revolutionized the employment market in such a way that a lot of people are working from home. It's a different type of environment. That's what I would say.
Yeah, that's true. But I also heard that a lot of employers they were planning to review the work from home policy.
Right.
I think a lot of them, due to the new variants, and especially now with the Omicron. Is it Omicron?
Omicron.
That's in existence. I think a lot of them have now said that they would rather leave that in place just to be on the safe side.
Yes.
So the virus was one aspect that carried over from 2020 to 2021. But then, as you said, we saw the different variants and we saw the different waves. It all happened this year in 2021.
Yes.
But we also suffered from that unrest, the routine.
That was major.
That was a nightmare. That delivered a major blow to the economy.
Exactly.
We saw lots of businesses closing due to that. Lots of retailers have closed. The damage that was caused. And it was sad to think that it was orchestrated by politicians. And there's no denying that. I mean, behind that we know the prominent politicians' sons and friends and their clique of people orchestrating that and playing with the emotions of the poverty-stricken, of the poor. Now, what sort of mentality that is, I don't know. But that selfishness has really crippled the country to the extent where it's increased unemployment rates. More people are now sitting at home, not working from home. They're sitting jobless.
Yes.
So that's a harsh reality.
And also the fact that the shopping centers and stuff were destroyed. now people like us, it's fine. We can go out of our area, jump in our car and we're going to shopping centers. We can manage. But the masses, they've had to, go to shopping centers out of the area. That means extra taxi fare. What an inconvenience for them, to go out of the area and stuff. So the unrest really made it worse, I think, for the masses. So that's also a sad part.
Yeah, that's very, very true. And then we've also seen where, and I believe that our president, the president of South Africa, under the current circumstances, is really trying to please everyone. And you give him a lot of credit for what he is doing. But I also feel that you can't expect everyone to like you. So you can't go around trying to please everyone.
That's so true.
Yeah, and sometimes you have to make decisions that people are not going to like, and you have to accept that. So to a certain degree, I think he understands that, but I believe that he's trying to please more and more people. Unfortunately, the reality is you can't please everyone.
Definitely.
And we see that on social media, the comments. I mean, he makes a decision, and then we see some people liking it, some people put in hearts, and then you see some people with those laughing emojis,
They're not happy.
I mean, that's showing that they find it ridiculous. And then there's some people who are putting the angry emojis. So that's, obviously a reflection of people being frustrated and not happy with his decision. So you can have a mixed bag of emotions. And I think especially now with this COVID situation, and it keeps on going back to COVID, a lot of the decisions that are made in the country at the moment is based around COVID as well. And you'll find there again, if he tries to ease on the lockdown, people are not happy with that. If he introduces restrictions on alcohol, people are not happy with that.
Especially those working in that industry.
And we all know the logic, and especially the culture, and I hate to say it, the culture of some of the people, and I'm not saying all the people, so some of the people, unfortunately the culture of it is when they drink alcohol, when they booze, then they don't seem to have a control over their emotions, and then you find violence flaring up, and you find domestic violence, and you find hospital beds now filled with people.
That's the main reason.
Yeah, so I would never want to be in his position to make these decisions, because you can never ever please everyone all the time, and it saddens me. A lot of educated people take offense to some of his decisions, and so that's one part. But keeping to the topic of COVID, and sadly that occupies a major part of 2021.
Definitely.
What's your take, Sarah, on the so-called conspiracy theories about the vaccinations and the anti-vaxxers and the pro-vaxxers, and what do you feel on that? Based on what you've seen on social media and so forth.
Some of the people provide a really, really good argument, but it's more like, I'd say, like a movie kind of thing that, this is happening. But as far as I'm concerned, I went and took the vaccine. The first one wasn't so bad. The second dose...
Sir, if you don't mind, because, sorry guys, we're on the CBD.
Let's put it up.
It's a bit scary. Yeah, sorry about that, guys. We had to disrupt the video. Unfortunately, that's life in South Africa. When you're driving through the CBD, there's a unfortunate culture of smash and grab. They smash your window, grab your phones, grab any valuables. So that's the harsh reality. So Sarah, we were chatting about the anti-vaxxers and the pro-vaxxers.
Yes. Okay. I have taken the vaccine already, so you know where I stand with that. First one was okay, just a few symptoms. The second vaccine really knocked me out. Really knocked me out. I had headaches and terrible vision disturbances, and I was sick. I was sleeping. The next day I couldn't. I was so tired, so much of fatigue. I slept basically the whole day. But somebody had advised me that you can take Panados. So I had taken Panados for the 2 days. That was a bit, it was like being really quite sick. But I would take the booster as well, even though I was so sick. I was a bit skeptical at first because, I mean, the vaccine is just like side effects, but if the virus affects you, it's life-threatening. So I would go for it. And as far as the conspiracy is about being chipped and stuff, you know what? That's just by the ways. I'm not going to believe all that nonsense.
Yeah, sometimes the stuff that we read on social media is laughable. I mean, we have a personal friend who is hardcore anti-vaxxer, and they believe that by the government promoting that you have to take the vaccination, and it's for our own good, for our own safety, for health reasons, and we don't want the spread of the pandemic where we can control it with the vaccination. But they believe that it's not controlling the vaccination, it's there to control people.
Yes, like
And,
microchip.
yeah, so that's laughable to me. I mean, when we're little kids and you go for those vaccinations, you don't know what's in it. People just know that you have to take it. You don't question it.
Yes.
So here, there's something we know it's life-threatening. Not just a small street or a small city or a country. It's the entire world that is affected by it. But they say no, it's the new world order. It's some sort of conspiracy to cull the human population. It's also, that's one version. There's another version saying that it's some form of control over the movement of people, that you chipped, as Sarah said earlier. So there's a whole lot of different conspiracies, and I'm sure you would have come across those different conspiracy theories that are doing the rounds on social media, and I'm sure you agree a lot of it is very, very laughable. Sorry, we're just entering the Suncoast Casino.
And
So,
if
yeah.
you look at the statistics, like here in South Africa, although I don't follow them like religiously, but after the vaccine, there's not so many deaths. Yes, people are getting the virus. It's not, they're not having so severe symptoms. But last year, this time, the president called a meeting. We went into another strict lockdown, but because...
Oh, by the way, our president, when he addresses the country, what meeting does he call it?
Family meeting.
Family meeting.
We have family meetings and the president is talking to us. And yeah, so it has to be the vaccines that, there's not so many deaths as before. We have so much more freedom than before. Here we have curfew at 12. We're restricted with numbers at gatherings and all, but not like before. The restrictions were very severe. Absolutely severe, where there's no enjoyment in anything that you're doing. At least now we're living with the virus. We are like, it's part of our lives now. We're just being cautious. We're going out. People are getting vaccinated, and to not spread it and to not also have symptoms. Life is actually better than 2020 this time. Last year this time it was terrible when the Delta virus was out, and we were just hearing known people just getting the virus, and next thing you're hearing them passing away. Touch wood, this year seems to be better. We're hoping that the vaccine had something to do with it as well.
Yeah, but also when we watch international news and we look at the natural disasters that are happening elsewhere in the world, we as South Africans can count ourselves lucky that we're not so exposed to volcano eruptions,
Yes.
and
Tsunamis.
tornadoes and tsunamis, because I believe in the Philippines, if I'm not mistaken, in the middle of this month, there was that hurricane Odette, or I think it was called, and then in Spain.
Yes, you told me about
Towards earlier in the month, there was a volcano eruption.
Yes.
And then we heard in Australia, sort of New Zealand areas, there was a huge tremor because there was some earthquake in one of the neighboring islands. So we can count ourselves lucky from that perspective. But then, whereas the rest of the world is faced with natural disasters, we faced with high crime.
High crime, yes.
I just read on social media this morning, one of my contacts on Facebook, who is an ex-colleague, they had a break-in into their property, and the thieves came in through the kitchen, moved the tiles, and they live in one of the so-called exclusive areas. But whichever area you live in Pinetown, in South Africa, you're still exposed to the high crime rates and so forth. So that's a lot of stuff that we wish, as we go into 2022, will reduce, and those kind of factors are controllable. We just need our police force to be more vigilant, more harsh. Obviously, not shoot to kill.
Yeah.
But you look at it from the perspective of a policeman as well. When someone's pointing a gun at you, then what do you do? And we tend to, and from what we can see, the laws tend to favor the criminals more, because if you defend yourself, guess who finds themselves in court? You.
Yes, you become
Yeah.
the
So householders are exposed to that. So are the policemen as well. So it's sad because it's a catch-22 situation. There's someone invading your space, pointing a gun at you, and at any second they're going to pull the trigger and you can't defend yourself. You have to wait for yourself to be shot first before you act. And that's what the law says. So if someone's going to shoot me, how do I defend? I'm already shot. It doesn't. It doesn't. Yeah, I mean, possibly dead. I mean, how do you defend yourself? You can't resurrect yourself to defend yourself now. But the law doesn't see it that way. So the law very much favors those people who do criminal acts rather than those people who are doing honest living. So that's a sad reality. And I'm hopeful that as we move into the new year of 2022, that people are more cautious when they go out, but at the same time, that the government allows the police force to really tackle crime. And ultimately, the soldiers, the policemen are foot soldiers. It's the government that has to be the starting point in doing something. As much as we can be vigilant, as much as the police force can be more vigilant, but that's the harsh reality.
But you know what's the sad part? The sad part is the last 2 years, so many of them have become unemployed, retrenched, and things like that. That's now, how does crime go down? Actually, crime is going to go up because of the unemployment. I'm not saying it's a means to an end, but it's so sad because now when a person, they're stealing money, to make a living for food and stuff because they don't have jobs. Jobs are not available. And I don't know, who do you blame? You can't even blame anybody.
Yeah. So for us, the debt of 2021, there's a lot of factors that we are happy to put behind us, but sadly, a lot of that is going to follow us into 2022.
Yes.
We know that COVID is a reality. It's not going anywhere anytime soon. I mean, so often, every few months, we're hearing of new variants. We know that the crime is not going to miraculously disappear, no matter how vigilant we can be as individuals or as families or as neighborhoods. That's the harsh reality. So it's up to us as individuals to make the best of 2022. There's certain things that we can control, and there are certain aspects that that's beyond our control, and we need to accept that. And for me, I would say that face it head on. Try not to make unrealistic resolutions.
Yes.
I know already I'm seeing on social media some people are saying new year, new me. I mean, how long does that last? I
Couple
saw another
weeks.
meme of a stampede of people rushing somewhere, and the catchline was people rushing off to the gym in 2022. So yeah, we can look at it from a humorous side as well, but
Mm-hmm.
that's the reality. A lot of people make these resolutions only to break them a few
Within a
weeks, in
few
fact.
weeks into the new
Some people
year.
a matter of days.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I can remember we had years back when I used to, for a very, very short while, I used to smoke.
Mm-hmm.
And we all made a resolution that we're going to give up smoking. And I was the only one who followed up on that. There was a few of us friends. And years later, every quite often when I meet, there's one guy from that lot of friends. He's always smoking it. Last one, this is my last one,
Mm-hmm.
and that's been going on for the last over 20 years, I would think.
Shame.
Yeah, so we have to make realistic stuff that we can control. But to close off this video, remember the death of 2021 means that we entering into something new.
Yes, we have hope. We
Yeah,
have
which
faith.
is
Yeah, in the new year.
yeah, which is the birth of 2022.
We're looking forward to it.
Yeah. So next year we'll be speaking about the birth of 2022, and we'll do a follow-up video to this one, and we'll talk about how the new year has started
Yes.
and what strides we have made so far. At some point, maybe early in the new year, maybe 2 or 3 months into the new year, we'll do a follow-up video to this one, and we'll chat about the birth of 2022. So, any parting words as we close up this video, Sayre?
You know, even though 2021 has had its challenges and stuff, it was much better than 2020. I mean, we've been for two family weddings, which we couldn't, attend in 2020. We've been going out, being maintaining safety and, following the protocols. I think it was a little bit more enjoyable, honestly. We've met families, our siblings, and we've also met some faraway families. Obviously we're not overdoing it because you have to this thing, but it's been a bit more enjoyable. And I think we've realized how much we've missed our families, how long we haven't seen them, and we've just seen them even for that fleeting moments, whether it was like for about 15 minutes or so, but meeting them has brought so much of joy. That was the beauty part of it.
Yeah.
That was a good part of it.
Yeah. But more on a sullen note as well, I won't forget the fact that this was the year 2021. For the first time ever in my life, I got
Hijacked. I know. I
hijacked.
just didn't want to talk about that, but it's
Yeah.
fine.
So yeah, but as you see the death of 2021,
Mm-hmm.
we just want to
That's
acknowledge these happenings, these real case scenarios
Yes.
where we experience stuff.
Yes.
So yeah, from that perspective, I'm happy. But on the positive side, we managed to recover that vehicle,
Yes.
but we didn't have the heart to keep that vehicle, so we sold that or traded it in, and we managed to get ourselves another brand new
A
vehicle.
brand new vehicle.
So yeah, so that raised a bit of eyebrows among some of our associates and so forth. But yeah, I mean, especially when people are not doing well in this challenging year,
Yes.
and I think it's a blessing that we were able to buy a brand new vehicle amidst all the adversities. And that's what I always live by. And I try to inspire people when I chat to them. And I say, no matter what happens, there's always a silver lining under a dark cloud. So
Yes.
look for that silver lining. So as we enter 2022, always look for that silver lining. Things may look bad on the surface, but if you scratch a bit, you're going to find something positive. Remember also, all that glitters is not gold, and all that is dull is not bad. So sometimes if you scratch a dull surface, you're going to find something very shiny and good and lovely beneath that. So keep persevering, and as you enter 22, make it your year. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.